Hello and welcome to Guild Wars Players News, the podcast where we take a look at Guild Wars game series news and talk about content on our site, Guild Wars Players. I'm Sethrith, and today we have Draculetta.
Hey, everybody.
And Athelros.
Yes.
Is that really going to be, like, your intro now?
That's his thing now. I'm
Sure.
that.
Let's make that.
Because I think you've said yes, like, the past 3 episodes.
I do believe you are correct.
I guess that's a trend, so I'll roll with it.
It's
Okay.
a thing now. It's officially a thing, people.
That's happening. So what else is happening this week is that ArenaNet posted a new blog article about the Revenant Profession, and they've finally given us a whole bunch of detail about this class. They also did an exclusive interview. I always have to mess up at least one word within the first, 2 minutes of the show. An exclusive interview with Polygon, and so we've gotten a whole bunch of information about the Revenant Profession, and it's pretty interesting. Basically, we knew it was a heavy armor class, and we knew it drew on Legends from the Mist to do its stuff, but that was kind of about it. We didn't really know a whole lot. So now we know a whole lot more. So it's a heavy armor class, and it draws on Legends of the Mist, and you can basically have 2 legends slotted at a time, and they act like stances, or like attunements like for elementalists, basically. You can switch between them, and they don't change your main skills, like your skills 1 through 5, like, for example, the elementalist attunements do. Instead, it changes what healing skills, utility skills, and elite skills you have access to on the right-hand side of your skills 6 through 0. So that's definitely interesting. The main 5 skills are still based on your weapon. Your weapon does not, weapons are not tied to legends. So, for example, they're not making you use a hammer if you want to tune into the legend of Jalis Ironhammer. Use whatever weapons you want. It's the utility skills that change. And not only that, the UI and the theme and art around your little toolbar at the bottom there also changes when you switch legends. So that's kind of interesting. And basically what they've said is that the Revenant is an anti-hero profession. They said that they don't want to call any class evil. So, for example, necromancers aren't evil. Neither are Revenants. However, they are a bit of an anti-hero profession because, according to the article and interview they did with Polygon, they are Ritlock, and then, as an extension, Revenants generally are willing to do whatever it takes to, I guess, defeat the Elder Dragons. I guess that's the point. And draw on legends of not-so-nice beings like Malix. So that brings us to the next bit. They did give us a bit more information about 2 of the legends that they will be letting us kind of attune to. We knew Jalis Ironhammer, we knew Malix, but now we have a little bit more information. So, for example, the legendary Demon Stance, where you tap into the legend of Malix the Unyielding, that focuses on condition manipulation, where you want to get a whole bunch of conditions on yourself and then kind of shift them over to whatever you're attacking. Then for Legendary Dwarf Stance, where you tap into King Jalis Ironhammer, that is all about sustaining yourself while maintaining a frightening presence on the battlefield, it says. So it's tanky, fighty, dwarfy goodness, I guess. The other thing is interesting about the Revenant class is that it will require energy. Basically, you'll have like a power bar kind of thing when you switch to a legendary, 50% automatically. And then using various skills will obviously cost energy, but as you're fighting, you also gain energy over time. There are some upkeep skills, they call them, which is basically a toggleable skill that drains a certain amount of energy over time. So you have to kind of keep on top of that, make sure you have enough energy, all of that good stuff. And then finally, they also told us a couple of the weapons that we'll get to use. We get to use hammers, get to use maces, get to use axes. The hammer is going to actually be a long-range magical weapon, and I'm thinking it's going to be a lot like how Mesmers use greatswords right now. And I foresee a lot of Norn Revenants being made and being based on Thor. There's going to be a lot of Thor Revenants using hammers. And then they also dropped a little bit of information about some new conditions and boons that we're going to get with the expansion. One is called Resistance, and this is a boon that will make it so that conditions don't have an effect on you. There's going to be a slow condition, which makes skills and actions slower, which I'm not really sure how that's different from the current condition we have right now, Chill. And then they are going to be introducing Taunts, which is interesting. Taunt, it sounds like it's going to operate in the similar way that taunts work in other MMOs. You force the enemy to attack you. So, yeah, that's some pretty interesting information. What do you guys think about that stuff?
Maybe this is just me, but personally I don't like the sound of slow, assuming it is just sort of like pretty much the same as chill. Maybe that's fine, but I don't really like the idea of my skills feeling really slow and clunky to actually fire off. It's kind of a problem I've had with other games I've played, and I just like the idea. I like it for games to actually be like quick and I don't know, efficient. Maybe the way that skills actually fire off, and having it be slow. I know that's the point, that you're being inhibited by the condition, but I don't know. I don't like the idea of it personally.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how often that condition gets used, and if it does get used, how long it'll last generally. If it's like a second or two, I don't think that'll be too bad. But
I think that goes for a lot of these conditions too, how much they spam them, because you don't want to get taunted every 5 seconds.
Right, that's the thing, yeah. Any thoughts, Drek, about the Revenant or the...
Speaking from the Guild Wars 1 perspective, this sounds so much like the Ritualist. A lot. It's like an Uber Ritualist.
Yeah.
If anybody's played a Ritualist in Guild Wars 1, you'll know why I say it's like an Uber Ritualist. So I am pretty excited. I normally don't play like heavy type classes, but I'm pretty excited about this. And you forgot the most important part about this class.
Go for it.
The color scheme is red and black.
And misty white. I don't know how I skimmed over that. You're right. I don't know what is wrong with me. One of the first things they put in the new blog post was the class color schemes, and I was really excited about it, and I don't know why I didn't mention it. But yeah, the new color scheme for this profession, because every profession has its color scheme in this game, which is awesome, and I love it. The color scheme for Revenant is red, black, and misty white, and if you look at the site, I put the picture they have of the toolbar or the quick slot bar with all the skills, so you can see kind of the color scheme all the skills have, which is generally the color scheme of the profession. So yeah, red, black, and kind of like a bluish white. I thought you were going to go for the other thing that I forgot to mention, which is that not only is the Revenant heavily lore-based in Guild Wars 1, the mechanics are also very based in Guild Wars 1 mechanics. Like you said, it's very ritualist.
It's very much like it sounds, from what it sounds like, it's going to play like how the Ritualist plays in Guild Wars 1.
Yep, a lot of the skill names and skill mechanics are drawn directly from skills and skill names from Guild Wars 1. For example, a lot of the legendary ones especially are basically direct copies of skills that those NPCs or whatever used in Guild Wars 1. So, yeah.
But yeah, I'm pretty excited about this class. I think it's going to be fun to play, I think.
Yeah, it will definitely be very interesting. And, so yeah, Drek, speaking of red, what's in the store this week?
Ooh, great segue.
Yeah.
We have the Crimson Lion die kits that are in the store. The description of them is: red is the color of fire and progress. Gold is the color of wealth and prosperity. We brought these two colors together with the Crimson Lion die kit. And they look pretty nice from the screenshot that I put in the article that they had up on the Guild Wars site.
Okay, I have a thing to talk about these die kits. I bought one.
Okay. Of course you did.
But okay, so here's the thing with these store die kits. So if you go in game and you look at the little description in the game, and it says you have a chance, it randomly picks from 25 dies. Obviously, for these ones, they've picked all red and gold colored dies. You only have a chance of, there's only 6 of those dies that are the new kind of fancy dies that they just created for this die kit. Only 6 of that out of those 25 are those new dies. So there's a high chance that you'll get just some other random red or gold die that currently exists and you probably already have, which is exactly what happened to me. So it's pretty frustrating to spend 125 gems only to get a crappy gold die.
That's not even right then.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that's how they worked.
Yeah, that is how they work. So,
wow.
If you have a ton of gems or whatever and you really want these dies, go for it, I guess. Depending on the die, it might be worth it to just buy it that way and risk it rather than having to spend all the gold on the auction house for the die, because obviously when these new die kits come out on the trading post, people put these new dies up and it's astronomical prices, which is not surprising. But yeah, that's how those die kits work, so be wary of that. You might get lucky, you might not. I did not. I got a die I already had, so I was pretty sad. Anyway, continue.
Also in the store, the lion and dragon mask skins. I guess they're okay if you're into mask. I mean,
Yeah, the dragon looks cool.
And then also, there is a ram balloon in the store now. I don't get, and I don't mean to sound very cynical when I say this, but why would you want a balloon?
Okay.
I don't get why people would want these.
I don't know either, but the only thing I can think of is that this ram balloon kind of, if anybody plays Team Fortress 2, you'll know that this ram balloon, it kind of looks in a similar style to the balloonicorn thing you can get in that game, which is like the Pyro's little, I don't know, whatever. It's a balloon unicorn is what it is. It's a balloonicorn. People love it. And this kind of looks in a similar style to that, so maybe they were trying to go off of that. I don't know.
But I mean, more power to you if that's what you want to do, but I don't know why you would buy one of these, but it is in the store if you would like to buy it.
Yep, it is there. You can have one. It is a balloon. Anyway, this week, Tapco wrote up another guide, because he always does, and this one is called What's the Difference? Drac, what is the difference?
What is the difference? This is a question that is asked a lot. Basically, it's what's the difference between Guild Wars 1 and Guild Wars 2?
And the answer is a lot.
Yes, it is. And Tapco does a great job in laying out the major differences. I think biggest right off the top, what I can just, if somebody would ask me what the difference was, I can say right off the top of my head, the biggest one is how the world works. And he covers this. In Guild Wars 1, everything is instanced-based. And, of course, in Guild Wars 2, it's all open world.
Right.
So that's one of the big differences. He goes on to lay out some of the other differences in the player characters, the game flow. Combat is a little different as well. And he lists some of the other differences as well. So once again, it's a great article from Tapco. And if you are a person that's maybe never played Guild Wars 2, but you played 1 and you're kind of curious, or maybe you haven't played either game, and you're wondering why we always talk about Guild Wars 1 since it's an older game, this kind of will tell you what that game is about and what Guild Wars 2 is about and why they're different and why they're both good.
Cool.
So good job, Tapco. Again.
Thanks, Tapco. This week, we also have an article from Char Odell, and this one is all about the Ranger, and the title of his post is The Ranger. It's like Ash Ketchum and Aragorn had a baby. So this is a humorous but also informative little overview of the Ranger class, and the focus mostly seems to be on PvP or World v World, but I feel like a lot of these concepts can also kind of apply in PvE as well. He talks about weapons to use, like how effective the longbow is, for example, different kinds of pets that you can use, and basically just his experience with the Ranger and what he's kind of found to be effective in using the Ranger and different ways of playing it. And, of course, lots of humorous pop culture references scattered throughout. So if you are thinking about playing a Ranger class, but you're not sure how effective they are, or, different playstyles, or how to survive, especially in PvP, check out this guide, and you will learn, and also hopefully be amused. And this week... Oh, yep, go ahead, Troy.
I was going to say, he's got some really good screenshots in this article, too.
Yeah, his screenshots are really high quality.
I was really impressed with the screenshots that he put in this article. So it's worth the read just to look at the great screenshots.
Mm-hmm. Lots of action shots. Very good. So this week, the community video spotlight is called Art of Dance. And Thelros, did you watch this video?
There's dancing in it.
There's dancing in it. This is a fact.
Yeah, if you've been on the site for a while, you kind of know that we've used the dance sync option quite a few times. And basically this video is that, but on a much larger scale.
Mm-hmm.
They show off all the different races' dance moves, and in my personal opinion, they kind of don't show the Sylvari enough because they clearly have the best one.
Yes, I would agree with that, but I am horribly biased, so that's that. But yeah, lots of really big group synced dancing. It puts our attempts at sync dancing to shame, really.
It really does. Not my kind of music personally, but it does kind of fit, I guess, for the video they were trying to put together, which is very well made.
And apparently they are working on Art of Dance 2, so we'll see what they do with that one. And Drek, I know you have a new Sounds of Tyria this week.
I do. This week I am spotlighting, once again, I'm still on Guild Wars Prophecy, and I chose the track Autumn in Escalon. And this plays pre-searing in Escalon, so it's before the searing and the Charred do their thing. And normally I don't like very shiny, happy type music.
Shiny, happy type music.
And if you listen to this track, it's definitely very, very happy and very chipper and very bouncy. And I just, whenever I hear this song, I always think about running around the pre-searing Escalon, doing the quest that you did for Gwen. There's spoiler alert here. There's a quest for Gwen that you do that you have to go pick flowers for her. And
is this Gwen Thackeray?
It is Gwen Thackeray, but it's when Gwen was a little kid, though.
Oh, okay. For those who don't know, Gwen Thackeray is the grandma or the great-grandma of Logan Thackeray.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Something like that.
Yep. So yeah, in the original Guild Wars, because she's a little girl and she's out with her flute and she's skipping around and you pick flowers for her and you give her flowers, and this track is playing, and I always remember just how beautiful the landscape was out there, and you're running around and this happy music is playing, and it just always takes me back. So this is one of my favorite songs from the Prophecy soundtrack, so give it a listen.
Cool. Thanks for that, and yeah, I'll make sure to listen to that. This week's weekly outfit is from Zero Kitsune again, because he just sends in so many outfits. Definitely someone after my own heart. This week's outfit is of his Asura Particle Shift, who has also gifted me dyes before, so thank you for that. And yeah, obviously we both really like cosmetics, so. But this Asura is very interesting looking. He uses the Light Aether Blade cosmetic set a lot, and then also has the holographic Shattered Dragon Wings back piece, a very fancy looking eye patch, and there's lots of red and gold and blue in this outfit. So Zero Kitsune says, 4,300 units of ego in a 10-unit body. While he is technically an adventurer, purely for tax reasons, he prefers the solitude of his lab. His experiments are often less than legal, leading to a great deal of community service. So thanks for the continued outfits, Zero Kitsune. They're always really good. If you would like to have your outfit featured on Guild Wars Players, just send it in to contact@guildwarsplayers.com with the subject line Weekly Outfit, and we will post it on the site and talk about it. So now for the lore book, where we take a look at a place, character, race, or artifact and examine the lore surrounding it and why it's important to our gameplay. This week, I'm going to be talking about King Jalus Ironhammer because it seems really relevant with all the Revenant talk. So basically, King Jalus Ironhammer was the king of the dwarves of Delgamore, which is the friendlier bunch of dwarves. King Jalus and the dwarves sought to fight the Destroyers, who were the minions of the Elder Dragon Primordus. And while they went to go fight the Great Destroyer, which was basically the Elder Dragon Primordus' main champion, he performed the rite of the Great Dwarf, using the Hammer of the Great Dwarf. And the rite of the Great Dwarf basically turned all of the dwarves into stone, and this happened in 1078, which is during Guild Wars 1. And all the dwarves that survived the fight are still in the far Shiver Peaks, fighting the Destroyers basically forever, it would seem. And that's why the one dwarf that you can encounter in Guild Wars 2, Ogden Stonehealer, he is also made out of stone. And even if they weren't present for the ritual itself, for example, a few dwarves, including Ogden Stonehealer, were not turned to stone immediately, all dwarves eventually underwent the rite. And according to the wiki, sometimes by force. I don't know what that means, but I guess you can draw your conclusions. So now all the dwarves are stone, and a huge bunch of them that are still alive are off fighting Destroyers. And, yeah, that's King Jalus Ironhammer, and that is who you can tap into the legend of if you play a Revenant. So, Tharos, what did you do this week in-game?
I did all.
That's always fun.
It's not. for people who have tried to map complete or on their own, it's not easy, especially when the game decides to have an event bug out on you.
Why would you even want to try to map complete or?
Because I want to go for 100% map completion. I have to get it.
You're a completionist.
It's an obligation. Yeah, it's rough. But it's obviously a kind of more group-emphasized area, so there's a lot of places where, say, there's a skill point that has a bunch of mobs in front of it that you are completely impossible to solo, as we found out.
Yes. I had to help. Or even duo. We got really lucky because a couple of other unsuspecting people came by, and we kind of used them as fodder, because they died. I also died.
And I also died.
And you also died. But you got the thing.
I got the thing.
It worked out. Eventually I too will have to get the thing, but not this day, because I couldn't be bothered.
So yeah, I'm kind of done with Risen in general.
Just
want to kill Sidehand and get over with. Just
Yep, we'll get there.
A lot of the mobs there are quite annoying. I also did some of the world-to-world map completion. I did 100% one of the areas that is currently
nice.
Isle of Janthia's, the green one, I believe it is right now. I'm going to have to hope that when it switches that we get a different map so I can do that one. It's basically how I'm going to have to do it. And I'm pretty damn close to finishing now, so 96% will complete.
That's pretty awesome.
Then I can...
Wow, that is awesome.
Yeah, maybe then I can look into rolling an alt. We'll see.
And never play your Mesmer again.
Maybe. Still need to do the dungeons, though, so I guess there's always that.
There is always that. How about you, Jack? What did you get up to this week?
Not a thing at all.
Not anything.
You know, I don't even think I logged in this week. I had, like, a really horrible week. Real life just was, like, not kind to me this week. So I'm trying to think. I don't even think I logged in at all, ever.
Wow.
So
well,
that's kind of crazy and kind of sad at the same time.
That is very sad. Hopefully next week is a bit kinder to you and let's
get
some Guild Wars 2 in. Because, I mean, we've gone a whole episode then and you haven't even referenced Felicia Day. I had to do it for you.
I know. Well, see, I was getting ready to do that. I was trying to think of how I was going to work it in, and I was going to say this has nothing to do with Guild Wars, but I did watch all the seasons of The Guild on DVD this week.
Well, there you go. For those who don't know, The Guild is it started as a web series. It stayed as a web series, right?
Yes, and it was created by Felicia Day.
No, it was... Felicia Day. No, but she's the main character in it. Was she created it? I don't know.
Yes, she created it, yes.
Oh, okay. Well then, yes. The Guild by Felicia Day.
So there is your Felicia Day reference of the week. That's the only way I could think of to work it in, and you're welcome.
And if you play
MMOs,
MMOs,
don't make that
Guild...
a segment.
Yes.
If you play MMOs, the Guild, you'll be able to identify it with it quite a bit.
Yeah, basically
it's a guild in an MMO.
It's kind of based off of Warcraft.
Yeah.
You can really tell it's like Warcraft, but they don't ever say it is. But it kind of transcends any MMOs, though. Because I've actually played with people, if you watched it, you know what I mean, that are like that in every online game I played. Oh, yeah. So.
Yeah.
But how about you, Seth? What did you do this week? Did you make up for my lack of playing, I hope?
I played a lot. Basically, I'm just going hard out on my Necro. I'm kind of falling in love with it, and... I know, I'm the worst.
I'm not even going to say anything.
I'm the worst. But, I've been playing a lot, and it's just so much fun, and, like, I've found myself, like, working really hard to get, really good level 80 gear for it. He's not even level 50 yet, but I've been working really hard to do all this stuff, and I'm kind of realizing, like, maybe this is actually going to be my main now, instead of my Mesmer. So, that happened this week. I got him from level 37 to level 47, and I did a lot of PvP on my Necro, and before I'd just been doing the practice matches, but this week I started doing unranked matches. And actually it's way better because the kind of skill and challenge is a lot more even, because they use the ladder matching system rather than just random players. Here you go. So, there's not the instance that happens a lot in practice where you end up in a group and everybody's totally new and then the other team is all high-ranked people and you just get stomped. That doesn't really happen for unranked matches. It's a lot more even. I've had some really, really good fights. People are still kind of jerks sometimes, and I assume if I go up to ranked matches, people will definitely be jerks. Seems like practice, there's the fewest. Then unranked, there's more jerks, and then, I'm sure ranked, it's a bit more on the line, people will be more jerks. But whatever, it's fun. I'm having a lot of fun with the unranked matches. I got to deer rank. That's just one above the bunny rabbit, so that's still pretty new. But I did start working on collecting the materials for the focus spirit links, and that is basically, it's this purple kind of phantasmal little bit of chain, and it looks really cool, and so I'm getting it for my necromancer because it has a lot of condition damage and also because it matches his color scheme, and at this time I only need 50 more globs of ectoplasm and then I'll be able to make it, and so I'm really excited. So much necromancer though. And I think that's about it. So I guess we will move on to Guild Wars 2 Academy, which is where we answer questions sent in by new players looking for more information about the game. This week, it wasn't a specific question, but basically the idea of the question, I was talking to someone in-game, basically the idea is, what is the deal with the Mystic Forge? The Mystic Forge is actually really confusing. Obviously it's one of those things where if you spend a lot of time with it, you use it a whole lot, you research it a whole lot, it'll make more sense. But even still, there's a lot of things that we don't even know the algorithms for this thing. Basically, if you go to Lion's Arch, there is a blue fountain in the crafting area, and you'll see a whole bunch of people standing around it, and you'll be like, what are they even doing? It's kind of a crafting area / gamble machine, and you can put in 4 items into it, and it'll combine them and create something new for you. The idea is it'll give you something better. And yeah, in the chat, Tapco is asking, is that the Mystic Toilet people talk about? Yes, it is colloquially known as the Mystic Toilet because you can end up wasting a whole lot of items and resources and money trying to get something good out of the Mystic Forge if you want. Like I said, it can be, there's certain recipes you can follow. So, for example, the way to get Spirit Links, this item that I'm trying to get from my Necromancer, you have to put in one Eldritch Scroll, 70 Mystic Coins, 10 Orichalcum Ingots, and 250 globs of Ectoplasm. So if I put all that stuff in, I will for sure get Spirit Links. That's one of the Mystic Toilet recipes. That's not a gamble, it just happens. But on the gambling side of things, you can put in, for example, 4 level 80 rare greatswords, and you can get a level 80 exotic greatsword, but it might not be what you want. You can put in tons and tons of items of the same thing, trying to get higher tier items, and this is how you get the precursors, which is a high level item that you need to create legendaries. You create legendary items not through like traditional crafting like this, but through the Mystic Forge. You have to acquire a whole bunch of these materials. Obviously, some of these materials, like I said, for the Spirit Links, I needed 10 Orichalcum Ingots, so I had to craft those. But for a lot of the stuff, you have to just get all these random items and then put them into the Mystic Forge, and there's recipes, and you get the stuff. I'm gonna, in the show notes, link this video I found that goes over it very well, and I'm still very new to this whole Mystic Forge thing, but this video gives you a lot more information. I will warn you, it has a little bit of, like, toilet humor, because people call it the Mystic Toilet, so there's gonna be some of that. But, yeah, it is definitely very confusing. I wouldn't really worry about using the Mystic Forge until you're, like, level 80. Until then, it's not really gonna do a whole lot for you. So yeah, that is the Mystic Forge / Mystic Toilet. I'll put the video in the show notes that'll give you a bit more information if you're interested. And we also got a comment on the YouTube video for last week's show from Prince of Mill Ave about last week's answer to the Guild Wars 2 Academy. And he says, food is a critical part of the game, and having a friend who is a chef or being a chef is great. Making sure that thou hast some some sort of food buff active can really make a difference for a great deal of gameplay. Plus, buff food from events can have some amazing effects. Not just magic find, but odd alternate boons such as the Halloween foods, which do weird things when you resurrect people. So yeah, that's just a little bit of extra information from last week's thing, which was about if there are consumable food type items that give you buffs. And yeah, do you guys have anything to add about the Mystic Forge or the food or anything?
I have no experience with either of them, so there.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go. Alright. This week we did not receive any Patreon mentions, but we sure would love your support to help Guild Wars players. Simply go to our donation page on our site, and you can support the Players Alliance Network on Patreon. That is the podcast and site network we're a part of. And there you will find rewards, including a mention on the show, or you can even be a guest on this show, which is cool. We don't bite, promise. We did not receive any iTunes reviews, but we would also love to get some of those. You can just go to your iTunes, search for Guild Wars Players News. We'll show up, give us some pretty shiny gold stars, and we will be very, very thankful. This week, we did get one featured comment on the YouTube post for last week's episode. Thalros, would you like to read it?
Yeah. He says, I know your pain, Drac. I did that path on my thief. That boss who spawns all the spiders that have been dead or alive owned me so much. He killed me, I think, twice, and I was like, nope, I think I'm done. Rage quit incoming, which was probably familiar.
Mm-hmm.
But then my rage turned into, I'm going to kill this damn instance, which I know that feeling. Having played Dark Souls, it's very much the same.
Mm-hmm.
So I changed my build traits, mainly more for more toughness and vitality utilities, and one of my weapon sets, he kept his short bow, and I destroyed him adds and all. There was a lot of hiding and kiting. My god, do I love stealth. So if you try it again, solo, again, change up your build. Don't be scared of changing your build. It can really help beat something that pushes you to the edge. It saved me a bunch of times. Good luck. And this is actually kind of true. When I was doing the Claw Island sort of section of the personal story, I started having a second weapon that I would switch to instead of just using one. Just changing up my traits and stuff too. That really did help me do better. Which isn't to say that the instance isn't a load of bull crap, because it might be, but it can make it bearable.
Fair enough. And I know, Jack, obviously you haven't played this week, so you haven't really had a chance to try again.
Yeah, no, I think I'm going to try it solo one more time, and if it goes the same way, then I think I'll just do it with you guys.
Okay.
But maybe I will look at my build and try that and try to change some things up and see.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see. I'll probably just
End up doing it with you, but I'll give it another shot solo. Why not?
All right, fair enough. This week we did not receive any emails. However, I do want to point out, Drac and I will be on another stream podcast tomorrow, so only the people who are watching this live will actually get this. But I also tweeted about it, so no excuses. We will be on the MMO Anthropology stream tomorrow, Friday, February 20th, and it is at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can find that stream at twitch.tv/MMOanthropology. And it's a pretty cool little stream. They interview people from different games, different MMOs, obviously, talking about the kind of what is the word I'm looking for? The population? That's not the word. Community, yes, that's the one. The community of the games. And just kind of, they play the games with them, so we're going to be playing some Guild Wars 2 with them, and it should be a fun time. So hopefully we will see you on that stream tomorrow. If you want to email us, you can email us at podcast@guildwarsplayers.com, and we have all of the Twitters for all of us. The Players Alliance Network is @PlayersAlly. The Guild Wars Players site is @GWPlayers. I'm @Sithrith, and in-game I'm at blah, 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 blah. I can say my name. I'm in-game at Sithrith.6741. Draculetta is in-game at Draculetta.7410, and on Twitter he is @Draculetta_72. Thalros is on Twitter @Thalros, and in-game he's at Thalros.3164. The Players Alliance live shows are many days of the week. On Mondays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern is DDO Players News. Thursdays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern is Guild Wars Players News. And Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern is Locho Players News. You can get to the chat and live shows if you go to guildwarsplayers.com/live. There's a link there. Find everything you need. And I think that's about it. So, thank you all very much for listening, and this is Sithrith reminding you to look before you leap.